You're watching 13 News, Kansas News Leader.
Good evening, I'm Melissa Bruner.
And I'm Ralph Hipp. Welcome into the news at 6 tonight. Just 2 weeks away from deciding the future of Heartland Park Topeka, city leaders, including those 4 new council members, plan to talk over the controversial purchasing plan at the city council meeting tonight.
13's Justin Surensey is there with a preview of what to expect with the discussions. Justin?
Jim Colson has openly criticized his lack of transparency early on of the city's plans to purchase Heartland Park Topeka. That's why tonight he wants to be sure that any new council members and the public have all the information they need. In August, the city council voted 7-3 to approve the use of $5 million worth of star bonds to purchase the racetrack and develop the district around it. But 3 of those yes votes have been moved on, replaced by 3 new members who are very skeptical of the plan. Along the way, that plan took a road stop during a legal battle over a petition that would have forced a public vote on a ballot. Deputy Mayor Karen Hiller has already said that she hopes that an open discussion scheduled on tonight's agenda to outline the city's racetrack plans can put any issues between the community and the city officials to rest.
You have to answer a question that's been answered 20 times to make it clear or explain it a little differently. The public is owed that, and certainly our new council members are owed the time. The public is not fatigued. They still have questions and concerns. They don't want to be wasting anybody's money on a racetrack that might not fly. Most people want to keep racing here. Most people want economic development to continue and to grow, but they don't want another failure.
The city council may also discuss a recent report exchange between the Topeka Fire Department and the city officials, referring to possible cuts between fire station staffs and fire stations themselves. We'll have a full recap of tonight's agenda on 13 News at 10.
All right, Justin, thanks for that. And the Topeka Fire Chief the Topeka Fire Department is eyeing the possibility of eliminating fire stations and possibly firefighters over the next 3 years. 13's Ariana Cohen sat down with Greg Bailey today. Ariana, what are they saying?
Well, Chief Bailey is looking at a resource allocation study presented to the City Council in July of last year. City Manager Jim Colson presented that study to the Council, and the report stated that compared to 17 similar cities, Topeka is spending $4.6 million more on its fire department.
Last Friday, Topeka Fire Chief Greg Bailey proposed a number of preliminary budget recommendations to City Manager Jim Colson. One of those, International Association of Firefighters Local 83 President Randy Phillips told 13 News is, quote, by 2016, if changes go through, Fire Station 1 and Station 6 would close, and other reductions would go through, end quote. A close reading of the allocation study would indicate reductions could well include cutting the number of Topeka firefighters. However, Topeka Fire Chief Bailey says he can't confirm what Phillips says might happen.
And right now, I can't say that any stations are closing. We've made recommendations. Well, the paper said it, but Chief Bailey didn't say it. Chief Bailey made the recommendations to the city manager.
District 3 Councilwoman Sylvia Ortiz opposes the idea of closing fire stations, telling 13 News, quote, I do not support it. We are putting all the citizens of Topeka at risk. No, it is not the right thing to do. We need to find the money to continue to fund the fire stations. Public health and safety should be our #1 priority, end quote. Last July, Colson told the council the resource allocation study was meant to be a guideline that did not need immediate council action. However, he also said he would like the council to consider the issues brought up in that study in the future. And that allocation report also indicated Topeka had more police officers than other cities of similar size. So fire and police staffing appears to be getting scrutiny in the Topeka budgeting process.
And Chief Bailey told me there is no timeline on when they will make any decisions on this, and that they'll continue to have conversations with the city's governing body. Ralph?
Which we will continue to follow in that lengthy conversation. Ariana, thank you. John T. Booker Jr., the man accused of trying to set off that Fort Riley bomb, has pleaded not guilty to the charges against him. Booker appeared in federal court in Kansas City, Kansas at 9:30 this morning in front of federal magistrate Judge James O'Hara. Clad in an orange jumpsuit with his legs in shackles, Booker entered the not guilty plea to attempting to use a weapon of mass destruction, attempting to damage government property by use of an explosive device, while attempting to provide material support to ISIS. Booker was arrested 11 days ago near Junction City. An FBI agent say at the time he'd been trying to arm a fake car bomb that he had planned to blow up on the Fort Riley post.
Topeka officials revealed further details today on plans to improve the city's levee system. We first told you about this last week when Mayor Larry Walgass announced during his State of the Community address that the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers allocated $7 million for the project. The city will first reconstruct the Oakland flood wall. The total project will span 3 years and cost $29 million. The city says it will protect more than $1 billion in Topeka assets. Plus, it means work can begin to make the Kansas River through Topeka a destination location.
This will be the right planning, and we think with continued collaboration, someday on a day we hope like this one, we and our families will be enjoying a day by the river, which will include paddle boating, kayaking, some great restaurants, and many other attractions.
The initial phase of the project will be under contract by the end of September. Outdoors, warmer weather today and a bit breezy as well.
And the final 2 weeks of April before those May flowers start to appear after the April showers. Is there a change in our forecast? We go to Jeremy Goodwin in the 13 Weather Center again tonight.
Ralph and Melissa, we are dry today. A few showers and storms south of I-35 this afternoon. Nothing in northeast Kansas. Let's check out the WIBW app. And we have had storms in the southeast part of the state this afternoon that are moving away from us. And we're expecting to see that activity in southeast Kansas, moving over toward Joplin, Missouri, Pittsburgh, Kansas this evening as well. Our morning lows today were very cold with Topeka all the way down to 38. Manhattan had 33 this morning, just above the freezing mark. And winds right now are from the west to northwest up to 15 miles per hour. As check the latest from the Capitol Federal Live Storm Tracker, the heaviest rain falling over in the southeast parts of Kansas and to southwest Missouri at this time. Some of those storms have been severe around Lebanon, Missouri. We could see severe weather in our area by Friday and Saturday. I'll talk about that severe weather risk and the full 8-day forecast in just a few minutes.
Jeremy, thank you. A Kansas couple was killed in a fiery wreck in southern Illinois. The Belleville News-Democrat reports that 68-year-old Irvin Hufflag and 63-year-old Mary Hufflag of Lawrence died last night in Washington Park, Illinois. The paper says the couple was driving from Kansas to Kentucky when they lost control of their RV and hit a large signpost. The collision caused the RV to burst into flames. Both the RV and the minivan it was pulling were destroyed. Authorities say it appears one of the tires blew.
You'd seen it on the CBS Evening News. Bluebell, that ice cream company, has expanded its recall to include now all of its products. Bluebell issued the voluntary recall late yesterday. The company, based in Texas, voluntarily has recalled all of the products after 2 samples of its chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream tested positive for listeria. The symptoms of listeriosis include fever or muscle aches, nausea, diarrhea, and of course it can be deadly. Some Bluebell ice cream products were yanked from major retailers' shelves weeks ago after the Centers for Disease Control linked the products to 3 deadly cases of listeria infection in Wichita. Well, a new member of the family is coming to the Topeka Zoo, and we'll find out who she is.
Also ahead, area second graders learn where their everyday food comes from. We'll share the experience next.
You're watching 13 News at 6 with Melissa Bruner and Ralph Hipp. 13 News, Kansas News Leader. You're watching 13 News, Kansas News Leader.
Getting ready for the newest guest at the Topeka Zoo is literally going to be a tall order, Melissa.
Abby is her name. She's expected to arrive at the Topeka Zoo around 10 o'clock tonight. She is a 2-year-old female reticulated giraffe. She comes to the capital city by way of the Albuquerque Zoo as part of the Species Survival Program. As of note to visitors, the Animals and Man building will be closed to the public for the next few days to give Abby some time to adjust to her new surroundings. But Zoo Director Brendan Wiley says if all goes well, guests may be able to see Abby in person as soon as this weekend.
From the zoo to the farm, and local school kids were learning where a lunchroom staple comes from today. And the farm was brought to the students learning about the different things that go into pizza. Kansas State's Shawnee County Extension and Shawnee County Farm Bureau hosted the more than 1,000 second graders at the Expo Center's Livestock Pavilion. These students were stopping by the different stations and they learned about the growing and processing of the meats and the vegetables, dairy, grains, as well as the farm equipment and soil and physical activity that goes into all that. So with all that talk of pizza, there was pizza on hand from CC's and everybody got a slice. I don't know about the cows, but the kids did. Saw a lot of sunshine to warm us up. It was a beautiful day out there today.
Yeah, and still time to get out and enjoy the evening as well. Here's your live look from our tower cam. Jeremy Goodwin lets us know when you might need those umbrellas again. His forecast is next.
This is your 13 weather forecast with Jeremy Goodwin.
Welcome back to 13 News at 6. This has been a beautiful day across northeast Kansas. Sunshine, the humidity low, and temperatures close to 70 much of the afternoon. Here were the morning lows, however. It was 38 degrees in Topeka this morning. That's not record setting, but certainly chilly. How about Manhattan, 33? That's at the airport a few miles south of town, but a cold night as well. Concordia woke up to 35 degrees, Emporia 44, and Lawrence with a morning low today of 36. So it was cold for this time of the year. Winds are out of the west, 10 to 15 miles per hour. Some of the gusts as high as 20 and 25 today. As we check the latest from the Capitol Federal Live Storm Tracker, there are storms to our east and even severe weather in parts of Missouri, around Lebanon, Missouri. Hail the size of quarters possible with some of these storms. They are moving away from us, but that's the same boundary that gave us a chance of seeing rain today. We talked about this yesterday with the possibility of seeing showers along and maybe south of I-35. And that's the boundary right there from Great Bend over to Springfield, Missouri. And now that it's continuing to push southward, our rain chances are lower and lower in our area. But the storms continue in extreme southeast Kansas and southwest Missouri. Our temperature is very comfortable. Topeka was 70 now. It is 72 in Manhattan. Lawrence, the latest reading, 70. Hiawatha, 68. Looking outside from our Capitol Federal Sky Cam, beautiful blue skies overhead, and our temperature remaining close to room temperature, as a matter of fact. West wind at 10 miles per hour. But this dew point of 29 means very dry air under a clear sky, and the winds relax tonight. We're going to see our temperatures likely dropping off quickly. The dry air allows the temperature to drop very quickly. Light winds and clear skies also coupled to help the temperature get very, very cold at night. So tonight, lows in the 30s are a good bet. Snow falling across parts of Minnesota and Wisconsin at this time. We're seeing fairly widespread area of 30s for temperatures currently to the north in Minnesota and Wisconsin. And that big dip in the jet stream remains across the Ohio Valley, the Great Lakes, with very cold air in place for this time of the year. As we get into Thursday and Friday, a very active jet stream in our part of the country means severe weather likely to develop in parts of Oklahoma and possibly around here as well, especially Friday afternoon and Friday evening. Tomorrow's a nice day, low 60s, near 70 on Thursday, so just enjoy those. The rain chance on Friday near 100%. The severe weather risk would be after 4 p.m. It's something we want to watch very closely. It may miss us to the south, but again, 4 p.m. until probably midnight Friday night, I would watch very closely on WIBW.com, our social media pages, and of course right here on the TV station in case we have any warnings.
Right. All right, we'll keep an eye here.
All right,
Thank you.
sir.
Well, Coach Brandon Schneider has introduced as the new head coach of the KU women's basketball team today. We'll hear from him coming up.
And Major League Baseball handing down suspensions, punishment to 2 Royals pitchers today after last weekend. That's next in sports.
Sports with Chris Lilly.
Hello everyone. Fans have been talking about the Athletics and Royals series. The players definitely have. Now the MLB is talking suspensions. Pitchers Kelvin Herrera and Yordano Ventura were punished today for their roles in these on-field altercations. Herrera has been suspended 5 games and will have to pay an undisclosed fine. Ventura will just have to pay that fine. This comes after Herrera threw behind Brett Lawrie and Ventura hit him. Herrera has appealed his suspension. Brandon Schneider was introduced today as the new head coach of the Kansas women's basketball team. Schneider started off with a story of watching a men's basketball practice at the Fog.
Before I even stepped on the court, I began to feel it. You know, the goosebumps, the hair on the back of your neck. There's a wave of something special about this place.
Schneider coached for 12 seasons at Emporia State, winning a D2 national championship. And it's still fresh in the mind of his dad, who has more than 1,000 wins to his name.
We have a picture at home, me and my wife, after the game hugging him, and we still have that hung up. So it was special. It was really special. He did something that I couldn't do or didn't do, and in fact, he was the last game I coached was in the regional tournament up at Kansas City, and he beat us 5 to go to the Elite Eight.
After spending so much time in Kansas, Schneider says this is the place to be.
When you are a basketball junkie, there's no other place you want to be.
Now that Schneider is here, what kind of players is he going to be bringing in?
At this institution, in the conference that we play in, we're going to recruit the planet. We'll go wherever we have to go to get the right fit that fits KU and fits our staff. But we will definitely start in the state of Kansas. There's good players in this state.
Schneider also was able to say the 2 words he'd been waiting years to say.
Today, I could not be more honored, humbled to finally get to say rock chalk.
And they say to be the best, first you have to beat the best. The K-State Wildcats women's basketball team will have that chance. The Wildcats will face the Huskies in Storrs, Connecticut, Monday, November 23rd this upcoming season, and UConn will make a trip to Bramlage the following season. The home game in the series will be the 3rd annual Team Halley game. Connecticut has 10 NCAA national championships, and they are the 3-time defending champs. K-State was 19-14 last season. That'll be pretty exciting. And that's it for sports. Ralph and Melissa, back to you.
Chris, thank you. No doubt Coach Snyder at KU, he'll really be watching videos of that game. We appreciate it.
We're going to check back on the forecast one more time with Jeremy next.
Is your 13 weather forecast.
Temperatures will be cold again tonight, upper 30s and low 40s. Let's look outside now. The sky remains mostly clear. That's the view from the Paris Hotel's camera on Huntoon Hill in Topeka. Tonight's low 40. Tomorrow will be cooler in the low 60s. Lots of sun, light northeast wind. Some of the storms on Friday may be strong or even severe. The high temperature on Friday near 66. The chance of stronger storms will be in the afternoon and evening. Saturday could be rainy as well.
Thank you, Jeremy. Well, you can check the weather and the news and sports, all of it there anytime at WIBW.com, and hope you're following us on Twitter. We have a big NCIS night planned for you and more news coming up later tonight.
Again, discussions at the Topeka City Council meeting tonight regarding Heartland Park. Justin Surrency is there. You can follow him on Twitter or tune in tonight at 10 for the latest information from City Hall. Meantime, stay tuned right now for Wheel of Fortune.
Have a good day.
Get the latest news, weather, and sports on WIBW.com or follow WIBW on Twitter and Facebook. WIBW-TV, Heartland Regional Emmy Award for Evening Newscast.